Yo, what is going on, guys? Episode 86 of Many here. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I know it was rough for the Packer fans and the Bronco fans this weekend. Usually I don't stay up late, but I did watch the overtime game, or I watched overtime of the Packers and Bears game. I am sorry for the Packer fans, but good thing is the Lions lost as well, so you guys are still looking okay to claim that wild card spot and stay in the playoffs. So, episode 86 of Many. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys, if this is your first time tuning in, make sure you share the show and all of that good stuff. But if this is your first time tuning in, go back and listen to episodes 1 through 4. That'll kind of give you a good understanding of who I am, how I got to where I'm at, the background, like our history, our team. And then, so for those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Colton Burt. I am 27 years old. We've got 7 gym locations. We just opened our most recent one up in Baraboo early December. That is just a training studio only. Generally, we are small community-style gyms, 24/7, really big facilities. Then we've got CCB Real Estate, which owns the properties of some of our gym locations, and then also owns the building we're in now. We own another building in Princeton that is an apartment building, for those of you that know that. And then we also have Priority Fitness, which is a fitness equipment install, moving, repair, delivery company. We do everything gym equipment related. So very brief background on who we are, what we do. Anything gym related we do. We're getting into the real estate game as well. And we started this podcast almost a year ago. We are coming up on our year anniversary this February sometime. We'll have to go back and see when that first episode was released. But we've almost made it a full year of 2 episodes a week and just kind of doing what we do. So anyways, without further ado, I kind of want to get right into some notes that I have today for you. So when I was out in Colorado, whatever it was, 2 weeks ago or 2 weekends ago, I had this thought, and I'm sure we've all thought of this before, but we're up in the mountains and we're driving around and we've got like a rental car or whatever, and we're just checking out the scenery, right? And as you're going up the hill, you're looking and you're trying to find out the wildlife. You're looking at the snow, the trees, right? You're watching the wind go. Like everything is fascinating. You're climbing up this mountain. You're climbing further and further. You're getting higher up. You're looking back. You're seeing everything else down below, and you're just in constant like amazement. You're like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. This is so cool. I love this. And what I started thinking about, again, as we're enjoying the climb, we're enjoying the drive, we're enjoying this journey we're on, we go down the hill so much faster. Like after we've made the climb, we've gotten to our end point, we've seen what we've wanted to see. Now when we drive the car back down, it's kind of like, how fast can we get out of here and on to our next thing, right? Or, in our case, get back to the hotel and relax or go get some dinner or whatever it was. But so the reason I was thinking about this was like, we enjoy the climb so much. We enjoy every aspect. We're like a new kid, or we're like a little kid, right? We're learning these new things. We're seeing these things we've never seen before, new territory. And then once you get to the top, it's just like, well, I've seen everything and I've done everything. And so now and I guess like the relation here is kind of like, think about like in the fighting world, right? Like you're a world champion. It's hard to be the guy on top for so long, right? Everybody wants to come up and be that position as well. They want to take you down and they want to be on top of the mountain. And I think this is just like a interesting thing to think about in all aspects of your life, like enjoying the journey, enjoying the climb. And our entire life is that way. Like we're learning all these new things, but really enjoy the moment, really enjoy the climb, really enjoy like that aspect of learning new things, understanding new things. And don't be in a rush to get to the next day, to the next week, right? Like we're always so concerned about, I can't wait for tomorrow, and we're sitting here just waiting for the day to end, and I can't wait for next week, next month, whatever it is. Enjoy right now, enjoy the moment that you have, enjoy the climb that you're on, whatever that journey may be. And our entire life is a climb, right? Like we're always reaching for new things and learning new things. But I just want you to think about when you, I'm sure we've all maybe driven in a mountain or something similar, right? Or gone on a journey. For some reason, going home always feels like it takes longer. But I sure as hell know when we're driving out of that mountain, we're not taking our time like we were on the way up. We're not looking for every piece of wildlife. We're not looking around every new corner and new bend. And so I just thought it was kind of an interesting thing. When I was out in Colorado, I was like, wow, like we take our time. We stop so many times on the way up. We pull over. We look at this. We look at that. And then on the way down, you're like, you never hit the brakes. You're just trying to get out of there, So there's just a couple different, like, I don't know, I don't know if the word's like parallels, but you could draw some things there and relate that back to your life and just make sure you enjoy the moment, enjoy the second, enjoy what you're doing right now. Don't always be looking for the next best thing. Like enjoy what you've got today, because once today is gone, you never get it back. So that was one note that I had here I want to talk about. The other interesting one that I just read the other day or was watching the other day was like the only real lesson we learn from failure, like the very base level, like there's things we learn from failure, but the most important thing we learn from failure is how not to fail again, right? Like our goal once we've failed is like, well, now I know not to do that and I want to fail less, right? Like you want to succeed, right? So like the very base level of failure is to learn how to move on from this thing that we did something and we screwed something up, or we didn't do it, we didn't see it through or whatever. We now know not to do that again, right? And we're taking from that, and we're not going to fail next time, or at least we're not going to fail the same way, right? So the very base level of failure is the lesson you learn is how not to fail, right? And to fail less and to continue winning in whatever sense that might be. So one thing I was thinking about when it comes to failure, and like everybody says you get knocked down 9 times, you get back up 10, right? You have to keep trying, you have to keep moving forward, and that's what builds our character. That's what builds tough skin. That's what allows us to in the end be successful in whatever area we want to be successful in. Maybe you're a runner or a walker and you face a lot of injuries and you have to continue pushing through that and becoming the best version of yourself. Maybe you've started 9 businesses and you got to start number 10 and that's finally your breakthrough. Maybe you've tried learning this skill or that skill again, right? So it's all about getting back up and learning from it. So when it comes to like these failures, something I was thinking about the other day, we're on like a gym install. And so this is my world and you guys can take this to your world as well. But I'm always, if you know me personally and you're with me and we ever go out or do something, I'm always like scanning. Like I'm always in tune with the people I'm with, but I'm always observing everything else going on. Right. And maybe this is just my instinct or whoever, I don't know. I don't want to give it to one person or one gender or anything like that. But, when you're walking around, I'm always looking for potential threats. I'm always looking for things that could go wrong. I'm always looking for, if this were to happen, how can we abort this or get out of, right? And so I'm constantly thinking, especially when we're in areas that, I don't know, you just don't feel safe, right? I'm just constantly scanning and trying to figure that out. So anyways, off topic, but we're on a gym install, right? And any of you listening who have ever moved gym equipment, which I'm sure there's not many of you, but if you've moved things, there's certain ways to move it. And the more you move something, whether it's a table, a couch, a chair, in this instance, maybe treadmills or ellipticals, eventually you get better at it, just like anything else. The more times you do something, just the better you know how to do it, right? You know how to tip it, you know how to lift it, you know how to, whatever. And so this isn't necessarily like the failure aspect, but when we do things, like for instance, we put a cart underneath a treadmill and it's not in the perfect spot. My question to you is, are you taking notes, mental notes on what you did that didn't work right? So again, this isn't necessarily failure, but this is like, what am I doing on a day-to-day basis? And am I learning from it? Am I getting better from it? Am I being like, just, I don't know what the word I'm looking for here, not necessarily naive, but like, if I'm doing something and it's not working 110% or it's not working to exactly how I need it to, are you physically taking notes away from it and be like, you know what, I should try something different next time. I should, put the cart a little bit differently and pull it back a little bit more, do this or do that. Or are you just doing the same thing day in and day out because you don't really, I strive to like whatever I'm doing to be pretty good at it and understand it, right? Like that's my mindset. That's what I want to do. And so when it comes to like moving gym equipment, and I know this isn't relating to all of you, but when it comes to moving equipment, I want to make sure the cart is in the perfect spot. If you put it under a treadmill and you've only got one cart, the treadmill can kind of teeter-totter like this. It can be a little bit too front heavy or a little bit back heavy. So I want to make sure the cart's right in the middle. I want to make sure I got enough cart on both sides of the treadmill so it's not hanging off too far one or the other end. So it's just like these little things, these little details that like make you who you are, and I think can really take you to the next level. And so again, you don't have to be an expert at everything, but when you do these little things, are you trying to do them right? If you're not doing them right, are you noticing that you're not doing them right? Are you like, again, taking mental notes? Are you saying, well, if I do that again, I'm going to do it a little bit differently? I think when I observe a lot of people, because this is kind of where I was going with that, I'm always scanning, I'm always watching people. as a leader and as an individual, no matter where I'm at, that's just how I am. So whether it's my team or we're just in a public restaurant or whatever, I am watching what people do and how they do it and maybe trying to figure out why they do it. And I try to instill to my people, like, to strive to do it the right way and to take something away from it and do it better next time. And I hold them to a high level, at least I try to. Some people don't always take well to those things, but I do observe people and I do realize, like, you just did that 3 times in a row. Like, why are you not trying to do it right this next time? Why are you not trying to put the cart in the right spot? Why are you not tipping it you know what I mean? Like, and don't get me wrong, when you're a bunch of dudes just trying to move gym equipment, oftentimes when a bunch of men get together, there's a bunch of egos, right? If you ever see like 2 or 3 handymen like on the same job, like every handy guy, every husband out there, every boyfriend out there that can fix something, they all have their own way of doing it. So that's one thing. But generally speaking, like, are you trying to better yourself in every little way? So I just notice it when I watch my guys sometimes, and anybody in public, when I see them do the same thing over and over and over, and I'm like, why did you not just take a little note and try to be a little bit better? So take control of your life. Even if what you're doing right now isn't what you want to do, you might be thinking about what you're going to do tonight, what you're going to do later, what you're going to do next week, when that vacation's coming, whatever. I know we all have our own different thing going on. We all have our own life to live. I get that. But the better you can be at the little things, again, I think it's going to build a better you. I think it's going to help you get to that next level, whatever that might mean to you. So just think about it. Am I doing things with intention, right? Am I intentionally trying to be better, or am I just kind of carelessly running through the day? And again, that intention is where that I think that plays a big part. So think about that. That's just something that I've been noticing more and more. And yeah, something to think there. So the other note I have here, and I'm not going to go through all of these because I do have quite a few notes here, so I'll save some of these for the next one. And today's episode is going to be a little bit shorter. I just wanted to give you guys some good thoughts here, but and they're kind of all over. Maybe once I listen back to this episode, maybe it'll all make more sense and I brought them together well. But the power of confidence was another one that I had written down. So I think the power of confidence is one of the most important things in our day-to-day lives. And I think it's something that a lot of people may lack. And I want you to realize you don't need to just have confidence in what you're good at. Like, you don't need to only be confident in that one area that you know you excel in. When I'm talking about confidence, like right now, it's like just like, you ever walk into a restaurant with like 4 or 5 people and nobody wants to take charge and who goes first? You know, like, who's going to tell the host that we've got 4 people, or seat yourself and you don't know if everybody wants to sit at the bar or the table or at the booth or whatever. That lack of confidence, in a sense, and obviously you don't want to make a decision for everybody. I get it, but most oftentimes nobody has a strong opinion in those situations, and it just takes a leader, somebody to say, this is what we're going to do. So the power of confidence, I think, is a big thing, and this is your everyday life. And the thing is, once you have that confidence, when you walk into that public area, once you walk into your classroom, once you walk into whatever you're going to do, one, you just feel better. You feel like, you know what, I kind of own the place. Like, you kind of have this certain kind of swagger to yourself, right? You just feel good. You can have better conversations. People are more attracted to you because you're confident. And so now the room, not only do you feel better, but the room also is like, wow, this guy or this gal I can see the confidence coming off of them, right? So having that confidence, and a lot of this is like the way you stand and the way you carry yourself. This isn't just a way of like talking. This is like, when I walk in, am I looking like I don't want to be noticed? Am I trying to be shy in the corner? Am I looking down? Are my shoulders rounded? Is my chest, right? You want your shoulders back and your chest out and your head picked up high, and making eye contact and looking around, and that smile. Every one of you has got a great smile, and you got to use that to your your power. You need to use that to your advantage. So when it comes to confidence, half of confidence, like most of the game of confidence, is faking it, to be honest. You walk in, you just feel good, and you act it. And then once you start acting this way, once you start smiling more, once you start carrying yourself right, that confidence will start being a trait of yours. You'll feel better in these situations. And even the most confident person, can go in a situation and be unconfident of themselves. They can be nervous. They can be shy. That's one thing, but that confidence will carry you to new levels. That confidence of you feeling good about yourself and confident in the situation and the conversation you're about to have, and just, again, that smile, and you're just going to see a lot of positive things happen from that. Like I said, you're going to feel better in the situation, and the people in the room with you are going to be more attracted to you in a sense. Like, they're not going to necessarily be attracted to you, but it's like a magnetic thing, right? They see that you have confidence. They see a leader in you. They see somebody who can carry themselves well. Those are good things to consider. So next time you go into wherever that area is that you might not feel the most confident, whether it's the gym, whether it's the grocery store, I don't know, wherever you're heading to, just think about the way you carry yourself. Think about the way that you are physically. Think about that first when people see you for the first impression, right? Think about that first impression you're giving off to everybody else. If you were to meet me for the first time, do you want to come off as shy and nervous? Also the handshake. Make sure when you shake people's hands, make sure you practice handshakes. There's no reason you don't have a nice, strong handshake. I've shaken many hands, and that's a confidence thing right there too. You don't need to shake so hard that you try to squeeze their hand, but you also don't want to, feel. I'm talking to the men out there primarily. I'm not an expert in female handshakes, but the men that have more of like that, I'm a princess handshake. I don't know what's going on there. So have a little bit of confidence to that, but that confidence, wherever you're going, utilize that. Think about your first impression. Think about how you're coming off to everybody else. Think about what they're seeing for the first time. If I meet you for the first time, that I don't see you again for another year or two, that first impression might be strong enough that I remember that. Think about you. They always say you might be meeting your future boss today, right? Or your future companion or whatever. So just realize how you're coming off, realize how you approach others, and think about it. Like, even when nobody's watching, what do you look like? How are you holding yourself, right? So I think this is such a under-talked, undervalued thing. And I think with people my age and younger, especially, however you say that word, apparently I don't say it very well. I think this is worsening almost with generations. Like, I'm concerned about it in a sense, right? So having that confidence, having that swagger, being like, and I'm talking to maybe the men here, just feel good when you go into these situations and feel confident. So anyways, we'll move on from there. Power of confidence. I think it's very important. So one other thing that I should have wrapped this one up with, my one note was there was a lesson learned from every failure. All right. We talked a little bit about that. The other one I have here is every problem has a solution. And the reason I say this, and we talk a lot about logic and emotion on this podcast, every problem has a solution. So no matter how bad the problem is, no matter how bad the situation is that you are in, there's always an outcome. There's always a solution. There's always the next day. The grass is always greener, right? And so I want you to think about that. No matter how bad you have it right now, or the potential situation you're going to run into in the future, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, whatever the time is, you're going to be able to look back and be like, wow, I made it through it. Like, I overcame that problem. And a lot of the times that problem we're going to feel like is the end all be all, right? Like, it's going to be the worst thing that ever happens to us. Like, oh my gosh, how do I get through this? That's our emotional side kicking in. When I make decisions, I like to sleep on it. I like to take a step back. And not every time can you do that. Sometimes you have to make a quick decision. So I'm not saying, should you sleep on every problem? No. But in the problems where you have some time to think about it, and it's, again, you don't want to make an emotional decision, it is good to take a step back and take a breather and give it some time and think logically about what should I do. And again, our emotions are most high when we first figure out what this problem is, right? Sometimes the solution to problems is that we can't do anything about it. Sometimes we have to let it play out. Sometimes we have to not make a decision, or there's no decision to be made because it's just the problem happened, right? Like a family member, a close friend, maybe somebody, and I'm not trying to, knock on wood here, right? But somebody in your family maybe has passed, or somebody close to you, or your dog, or whatever. There's nothing we can do about it now. And that's your current problem that you're facing because it's an emotional thing. And whatever, right? So sometimes the solution is I just need to take some time to myself. I need to understand life. I need to understand what's happening. And that's that. So every problem has a solution. And so the reason I thought about this is, again, a lot of us get wrapped up in whatever's going on. We think, again, it's going to ruin our entire day, our entire week. There's no way we're going to make it through it. I do want you to know that there is a solution. There's an outcome to every problem that you may face. And it's important to remember that even though right now feels like the worst day that's ever happened to you or whatever in the future, there is always grass on the other side, or there's always greener grass, or whatever they say. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, right? Like there's always more to life. There's always more that you're going to experience. There's always more that can happen. And so just remember, when that problem arises, the best thing to do is, if you have time, let it sit, understand it, breathe, take a nap, go for a walk, talk to your close friends and family, people who you can trust their opinions and they can give you good opinions. If you're not in the mental space if you want to be just heard and you don't really want anybody's, like me, I like feedback. I like to be heard. I like to get things off my chest. I like to do the venting, but I also like people to like kind of feed me and give me some feedback. I know a lot of the times people like to be heard and they don't want opinions. They don't want answers. So be careful that if you are going to start venting right away, that you maybe set that person up for success and tell them why you're here to vent, right? Hey, I just need to get some stuff off my chest. I just want you to listen. Start with that and then tell me everything you got to say and I'll listen to it and I will nod my head and I will take it all in. And when you're ready to talk about it, I will give you my input. If you are looking for, hey, I just want to honestly talk this out and I want to hear what you have to say, again, say that. So when you talk to me about it, we can have a good kind of conversation and I can help you through this in that way. And that's how I function best typically. I like to get stuff off my chest, but I also like somebody who can give me a little bit of feedback and maybe show me where I'm wrong, right? In this case, if an employee quits, if somebody does you wrong, right? Like you want to talk these things out. So set your person up for success on whoever you're going to talk to about the situation. Take some time, sleep on it, and just know no matter how bad it is right now, it could always be worse. That was one of the things I said very early on in this podcast. Some people close to me have reminded me of this in situations where I might be complaining about something little. I don't ever like to think of anything as too big of a situation. Sometimes I complain about these little things. I'm not a big complainer, but sometimes I'm saying, oh, this or that, right? And when somebody that I know comes back to me and says, well, it could always be worse, I laugh because I'm the one that was saying that all the time, especially early on in this podcast. So we've gotten flat tires on the side of the road with my trailers. If you guys have been listening to the podcast long enough and you've heard me talk about those stories, it sure as hell could always be worse. We could have gotten 2 flat tires. The trailer could have come disconnected and caused an accident, right? Like there's all these things that could always be worse. So I think that is a very good mindset to always carry with you. It could always be worse. Whatever situation you're right now, it could always be worse. Again, somebody passes in your family. Well, let's say your great-grandparent dies. They both could have died in an accident together, right? Like you could have lost them both instead of one. Be grateful for the time you had. And I'm not trying to make this about death, but these are like the worst possible things, right? So just realize it could always be worse. You should be happy for the time that you had. In this case, it could have always been worse. You could have not had as much time as you had with this individual, right? So there's these things that it could always be worse, is all I've got to say. So anyways, that's kind of where I'm going to leave off with you today. I just gave you like 3 or 4 things that I've been thinking about lately. I've got a lot of thoughts going through my mind. The last thing I'll actually say, the end of the year is near. 2025 is almost wrapping up. Christmas is obviously here in a couple days, so Merry early Christmas, or however I would say that. But I want you guys thinking, with this time off you've got from work, the weekend, your time with family, whatever it may be, think about your 2026. Think about what you guys want to accomplish. Think about what you need to do. Think about what you need to do this last week or two to finish the year strong. I know that I'm starting. I started a note in my iPhone. So in the Notes app, I've got a note in there that's called 2026 Ideas. And I'm just starting to write down things that come to my mind over the next couple weeks, things that I want to accomplish, things that I want to do. One of my goals that I wrote down today, and I haven't finalized anything, but I want to read 300 pages per week. And so last year, or this year, 2025, I have read a great amount. I read a lot the first 6 months, and the back 6 months, I still read a good amount, but not as much as I was the first 6 months. I mean, I was on pace for, 80 books or something in the beginning of the year, and I probably finished, I will let you guys know, but maybe just shy of 60 or something. So life gets busy. There's seasons to life, and there's times that there's more time we have for this or that at different times and different stages. But think about 2026. Think about what you want to accomplish and just start writing some stuff down. Go through that bucket list. Are there any places you've really wanted to go that you have not gone in the last 3 or 5 years and that you've been wanting to? Write it down. Say in 2026, I'm going to do this. I always say I want to go to Niagara Falls. Like that's one place I really want to go. Maybe that should be my 2026 goal, is to finally see it, right? Or whatever that may be. So think about it. I want to read 300 pages a week. And that doesn't mean I can read 400 this week and 200 next week. That means I have to read 300 pages a week per week for 52 weeks. Like that is one of the goals that I've gotten written down so far. And yeah, so just start thinking like that. Again, you don't want to have 30, 40, 50 goals. You want to have 3 or 4 or 5 things you want to accomplish. I like to think of my goals in different areas of life. Again, like education, which is kind of like this reading one. I want to develop as me. I want to read 300 pages a week. Like that's my education goal of the year. Maybe you've got a finance, a health goal, a fitness goal, a nutrition goal, a steps goal, whatever it is. Let's get a couple things down that we would like to see shape our 2026. And think about the entire year. Don't think about something that's going to take you. I don't want you to have unrealistic things. I don't want you to say, I want to lose 20 pounds in January. I want to do these extreme things in 3 months' time. Like, think about habits that you want to change for the entirety of your life. And those are like what you should build your goals around. Things that you want to better your life and put yourself in a better position to win and be the best you. So let's think about the habits that we can change positively and shape us in the way we want to. So like, maybe I want to get 15,000 steps a day. I wouldn't want to do that every day because I know my body needs some rest every now and then, but maybe I want to like increase my steps. Maybe I can, if you have an Apple phone, I know in the health app, if you have it set up, it'll track your steps. And maybe you can see that your steps last year was 8,000 steps a day. Maybe this year your goal is to have like an average of 9,000 steps a day, right? Like that would be great. That's a positive impact in your life. I was just looking back at the notebook that I was keeping notes in. Back in September. And it was funny. I said, run 4 miles a week, 4 miles a week. So like I could run I ran 1 mile 4 times. And now I haven't been tracking in there since October. I just started writing down in my notebook again next to my nightstand. And I'm over here running, 3 to 4 to 5 miles a time that I run. And that's 3 to 4 days a week. So, hey, positive change. So anyways, think about 2026. Think about some things. Just start writing some stuff down. You've got like the next 2-ish weeks or week and a half to reflect on your 2025 and the changes that you want to make and the habits you want to become, make better. Our goal is, again, to be the best versions of yourself, to be 1% better each and every day. Think about where are your weaknesses? Where are the habits that you give in too much, that you're not strong enough to take control of your life? Lately, I haven't been as strong as I need to be, and I'll talk more about that on the next episode. That's why I've got my notebook back out and I'm writing down what I need to accomplish. So think about where you're weak and think about where you need to become stronger, and how if you were going to be the best version of you, if you were going to go home and tell so-and-so like you are the best version of you, what would that look like? And then let's start working backwards. What do I need to clean up? And pick 1 or 2 things at a time. So anyways, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.